Speaking of embarrassing, Saagar missed out on our coverage of Marjorie Taylor Greene's national divorce comment. So initially she was just like, we need a national divorce. Everybody I say says this because our differences are so irreconcilable. She kind of softened it to be like, well, we'd stay together as a country, but this would just limit the federal government, something like that, because she got so much backlash across the aisle. So Sean Hannity decided, this is our second Hannity appearance here, he's becoming very central apparently, decided to have her on his show and effectively back her up in this idea. Take a listen.
Green is saying that a national divorce would empower individual states to form a smaller government, reduce the federal debt, set their own environmental standards. And the Congresswoman has another idea as well, banning people who move from blue states to red states from voting for 5 years so they don't bring their bad politics with them. I mean, I look at topics, for example, how do you reconcile defund the police and no bail laws with law and order? How do you reconcile secure borders and wide open borders? How do you reconcile energy independence with energy dependence and new Green Dealism? How do you reconcile peace through strength with people that want to gut our defense? You know, I don't see middle ground on a lot of these issues. So what is the other answer if it's not a divorce?
So, Saagar, since you haven't reacted to all of this, let me get your thoughts.
I don't know. I mean, it's just so pathetic, to be honest. First of all, Marjorie's whole turn towards the establishment, I guess that one took a hard right.
Yeah,
not exactly what happened there. She's
the
like
face turn is over.
Returning right back to the kookery. I mean, I just find these so pathetic. And only the most cringe, grifting, right-wing Twitter personalities would ever think that this is actually going to happen. And, you know, let's put on the historical hat. We have had many periods in our history which were full of far more domestic strife than this. And guess what? There was no war. A period after the American Civil War was far more contentious politically here. The period in the maybe like the progressive area, but like 1900 to let's say like 1920, just an immense amount of fighting over internally over like civil rights, race, the economy, the progressive era, combination. Okay. And then the 1960s, which for all the talk of how bad things are, we are nowhere even close to what things and how bad they were in 1968. So this is all just a fantasy. And honestly, it's just getting people ginned up. The part of the reason I recognize it as such is, look, I'm from Texas, and there is a cringe, annoying element of like the most mid-baseline Texas take of like, well, technically, we were our own country and we could secede. And, you know, the war between the states and all that type of discussion with, you know, the Confederate belt buckle holding on to something even though their parents are from like Ohio. Look, my point is that this is a LARP. It's one where a lot of people online like love to get in these idiotic discussions. But fundamentally, A, it's not going to happen. B, it's also a dumb idea. C, we actually fought an entire war called the American Civil War to resolve the question of whether this could ever be allowed to happen. And 300 some people died in the Union Army to make sure that it wasn't going to, and preserve that then in the Constitution around the right to secede. So there are so many fundamental levels as to why this is dumb.
Yeah.
But for her, it's smart if you want to make money. You know, the most cringe elements of these people, they're loving this.
Well, the thing that is funny to me is she keeps on insisting, like, I'm just talking to regular people, and that's what they tell me.
No,
it's
they
like,
don't.
this is the most online take of all time, which
that's
she
why
demonstrates.
She pointed to her idiot likes.
Exactly, when she's like, that's why it's got so many likes and retweets. It's like, no, this is the most Twitter-brained, dumbass thing ever. But yeah, does it serve her interests? Sure. Sure it does. Sure. Absolutely. And as Emily pointed out, which I think is an important fact to remember, Marjorie Taylor Greene lives in Georgia. What do you do with a state like Georgia? It's a blue state?
Yes.
Is it a red state?
Right.
You know,
good point.
2 Democratic senators went for Joe Biden, but you got a Republican governor. So how's that one going to work out? And her new idea is, if Democrats move into red states, they should be banned from voting for 5 years.
Good.
So yeah, just very open, like small d Democratic instinct here to just like the people you don't like and disagree with, just don't let them vote.
That's actually an old carpetbagging sentiment from the old South after the American Civil War. Yeah, why would anyone from the state which got burned to the ground during the last Civil War want to have another one? Like, ask people in Atlanta how that worked out for them. So anyway, it pissed me me off. I find there are so many right-wing personalities who are always, who are always leaning into this, and it's just to try and get people like all these, like feeding the gun paranoia and all that. Look, I support gun ownership. I always will. I mean, people here know I'm not even for many restrictions. But
I want to say I've seen a liberal version of this too.
Oh, sure.
That's like, oh, we support blue states,
pay all their bills,
pay more taxes, and support more, so let them go, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, there is a liberal version of this, but I don't know that a member of Congress on the Democratic side has articulated it, and I don't know that it's been given a serious platform on a liberal talk show either.
Yeah, and nor should it. This type of kookery, like, you should just keep it out to where it is. But congratulations. I'm sure it helped in terms of increasing your Twitter followers and in terms of your fundraising numbers. But I personally find it disgusting.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.